Morning, everybody. It is 8:12 a.m. It is March 5th. Welcome to my channel. So the market did push up yesterday, made all-time highs, and then pulled back at the close and closed at the lows. And now this morning we're gapping lower. That's what's going on this morning. Apple's getting more bad news. Tesla's continuing to fall. NEO had bad earnings, and that's what's going on this morning. Target had good earnings, so Target's up. Lyft got an upgrade, I believe, again. So that's what's going on. Gold's on a run. That's what's going on in this market. Okay. Um, so without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name's Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, most traded price of the month, and the rolling year and the rolling week and preceding day, and along with just two anchored VWAPs. Just helps me keep on the right side, and that's what I'd like to do. So, and then I like to find confluence with everything, and then possibly take a trade based on that. Right? That's basically my motto. So, if you can, if you're new, subscribe, set an alert. If not, watch, and then hopefully you can do it. If you like what you see, please give me a like if you can. As always, you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right. So let's get right into the futures watch list. So let's see what futures are doing. All right. So Ether is up 4.96%. I mean, I know that they're talking about having an Ether ETF possibly in the future. That's probably maybe because of the disconnect with the wild run in Bitcoin. Possibly. All right. The VIX is up 2%. Silver is up 0.98. 30-year bonds being bought today, up 0.68. Gold is making a run. I stuck with the pullback in gold. I'm happy I did. Hopefully this can finally make a move that everybody's been talking about. Dollar is up 0.05. 10-year yield should fall with 30-year bonds getting. That's the first time I've seen the 30-year bonds getting bought that much. So interesting. Bitcoin's flat. The Dow is down 0.25. ES is down 0.30. Nasdaq is down 0.5. Russell is down 0.57. And crude is down 1.1%. I'm really eyeing crude. They had a breakout. It now looks like that might have been a look above and fail. However, it's pulling back to the most traded price of the year. So this could shake out a lot of longs, and I'm really gonna possibly look at doing something in crude. We'll have to see. Let's go to the Max 7 Plus. Coin's just on it's ripping. All right, it's just ridiculous. I mean, not too long ago it was at like 130, 160. It's just ripping. Up 3.6%. Nvidia is back up to 1.49%. So something might have just changed. Something changed. Yeah, Nvidia's a monster. All right, so those are two leaders. So Nvidia's been holding up the market, even with weakness in Google, Tesla, and Apple. Still, the market went higher. So these semis are really something. Let's look at the losers today. We got the laggards. Bob is down 0.92. AMD is down 1.31%. So AMD is getting a pullback, but Nvidia is not. Okay. Snow is down 1.34%. Now Snow, that's interesting, right? They tanked on earnings, and then people bought it, even though it's not a profitable company, and now it's those buyers are starting to feel some pain because now it's going back lower. So interesting, right? Apple. Saw that there was some news that the sales in China really losing out to, I think he said Huawei. Um, and then Tesla, I'm not sure. They just got a price upgrade or price target raise. However, NIO had bad earnings. I'm not sure if that's just the electric vehicle demand is not very good right now. So this Tesla's just getting hammered really bad. So, and Apple's coming to a key level of 170. Um, Eventually, Apple's gonna catch a bid, but who knows? Who knows? Top sector stocks. All right, Costco. When are they reporting? They report 3.7. All right, Costco's up 0.92. Anticipation of earnings probably. Walmart's up 0.27. PepsiCo's up 0.15. Laggard. We got Cat's down 0.37. Eli Lilly's down 0.54. Salesforce is down 0.68, and Qualcomm is down 0.69. Now, if we look at um, my swing trades here, my swing trade list, let's actually go to that list. All right, here you go. Target leading, Baxter up 4%, Lyft. That's really it for the big boys moving. Okay, now laggards. SoFi down 9.67%. Wow, why is that? Why is SoFi down so much? Technologies. SoFi Technologies announces proposed convertible senior note offering. Oh, there you go. They're doing an offering, so sending the stock down. Um, SoundHound, Mara. I mean, this is all understandable. MicroStrategies, RXRX, Lucid, AMC, Micron, AI. I mean, these are tech's getting a little hit this morning. Let's go back up to the top sectors, and then we'll just look at the sectors. Leading is staples, utilities. The laggards, we got communications down 0.37, discretionary down 0.53, and technology, the biggest sector in the S&P, is down 0.65. All right, you got Apple's down, you got AMD, right? Communications, that's going to be Google. Discretionary, that's Amazon, your Teslas. So that's what's going on there. So looking good for retail stores today with Target. So that should prop up a little bit there. Um, let's move on. Let's move on to some economic calendar, some news. What do we have going in that department? Give me one sec. All right, so let's look at the calendar. And hey, Chief from Connecticut. Let's see here. So today's a day where you have news dropping at 9:45. S&P Global Composite PMI and services. So that's at 9:45. So that should cause a little volatility. And then 10 a.m. you have three data's coming out. You have ISM Services PMI, factory orders. All right. And I'm not really even sure what that is. RCM TIPP Economic Optimism Index, whatever that is. They all three of those drop at 10 a.m. So I gonna probably stay away until about 10:15 when all that blows over. I don't want to be in a trade and enter a trade early and then get knocked out because of some news, right? That always seems to happen, and it sucks because sometimes there's a setup happening and I'm like, really? This is the perfect setup and news is gonna drop, and then I just watch it, and then sometimes it doesn't do anything, but sometimes it does what you wanted it to do. But I'm not willing to take that gamble. This doesn't make sense over the long term. What else is in the news? Let's go to here. Target's earnings surge despite holiday sales dip. See sales recovery in 2024. Apple's iPhone sales in China plunged 24% as Huawei's popularity surges. So that's the big news. Tesla's German plant halts output after suspected arson nearby. That's probably the news why Tesla is falling. AMD hits US roadblock in selling AI chip tailored for China. That's probably why AMD is not going good. All right. So those are the things going out in the morning here. Let's see, Amazon. Um, I'm just going over big headlines. All right, MicroStrategy. So obviously went up for Bitcoin, but it says shares of the company dropped after the software firm announced plans to raise capital through a 600 million private offering and convertible notes that would use to buy more bitcoins. The stock of the listed company with the biggest Bitcoin holding hit a 24-year high on Monday as the world's largest cryptocurrency climbed closer to 2021 record high. All right, interesting. Just trying to see. All right, so I know United Healthcare has been getting hurt with some hacker. So it says a post on a hacker forum popular with cyber criminals has claimed United Health Group paid 22 million in a bid to recover access to data and systems encrypted by the Black Cat ransomware gang. According to two researchers, the forum post dated Sunday said a partner of Black Cat was responsible for the intrusion into United Health. The message allegedly from the partner included a link showing that someone had moved about 350 bitcoins, now worth about 23 million, as the value of the cryptocurrency rises from one digital currency wallet to another. The owner or owners of the respective wallets is not publicly available. Blockchain analysis firm TRM Labs said the destination of the funds is associated with Alpha V, also known as Black Hat, noting it has seen that address used to collect ransom payments from other Alpha V victims. Wow, that's nuts. That is nuts. I would love to be a buyer of United Healthcare again. I took profits. I got out of United Healthcare, but I would gladly get back in. But that news is not great. Along with medical costs. What else here? Boeing's just not doing great. And then United Healthcare gets a target price cut from 570 from 605, reflecting the impact from the cyber attack of the company's change healthcare subsidiary in a new Department of Justice investigation into its vertically integrated business model. Boy. So that eventually will be a buy, but I don't know when. That's pretty much the news. Earnings, we can look at that real quick. So this morning you had Neo, Target. That's really the ones that I would even pay attention to. After the close, we got CrowdStrike, Ross, Nordstrom. That's the really only ones that I would be paying attention to. Tomorrow morning, JD.com, Abercrombie and Fitch, Foot Locker, Campbell's. That's all I pay attention to. So that's about it for earnings. We can go right to the daily charts. Let me pull that up. Let's look at those daily charts. So that upper trend of top of a channel has proven each time to be resistance. I've been talking about this, right? So just resistance, 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 resistance. Now it hit it again yesterday. Resistance. So that's holding. That's something the market is repeating. Okay. Look what we hit it last time. Hit it, and then pulled back for 3 days. And then that was it. And then we moved higher, right? So very, very interesting. Right? Very, very interesting. So what did we do yesterday? Hit that trend, and then we close at the lows. All right, where are we at now? 510.59. Wow, 510.59. We're all the way down here. We're at last month's highs. That's this white line. That's last month's highs. That's where we're at right now. Okay, so you do have buyers all here around 505. That would be a nice pullback. If you hit that, you break that, that definitely is going to fall. Probably fall to around here, maybe 502. See that resistance right here? And the trend line's right here, the 20-day simple moving average, 502. Possibly, maybe here, 504, 50, but 505 looks like a good place. This is not me calling for it, just if it does, it probably makes sense to go here and maybe even do a little bear trap, break these lows, hit this trend line, and 20-day simple moving average will probably be somewhere around here. So haven't broke that 20-day simple moving average in a while. So that's what it looks like if it falls. If it falls, I mean that trend line's pretty much money. So who knows? Let's look at Q's. Q's has its own channel. Okay, that has not hit the top of that channel. Not like the SPY. Okay, hasn't hit it yet. Doesn't mean it can't pull back. Okay. And what did we do yesterday? Yesterday we couldn't even break Friday's highs. Okay. And we just closed at the upper third of Friday. All right. So how does that look, right? Where are we at now? 441.30. 441.30. That would bring us right about here. Also last month's highs. Last month's highs. Also, you got a lot of resistance here. Okay, so that's around 440. Okay, that's 440 in the Qs. All right, I would think that'd be a little sticky. All right, and then what do you have next if the Qs are going to fall, right? You have this resistance here, support here, and you have a couple weeks ago lows, and the 20-day simple moving average is right there. That level is about 434.24. Okay, so if you break this, probably having a date with 434. Okay, now you can see there is a trend line here from this low, from this swing low. Let's see. So that trend line is right here. So it's at that trend line right now. So it's gapping down. Have to see if this means anything. I mean, Nvidia is still up. Lost a little steam, but it's still up 1%, which is nuts. All right. So, all right. 10-year yield. 10-year yield is down. So this is really interesting, right? The market's down when the 10-year yield is down. The 10-year yield is down 1.49%. That's a pretty big move. Okay, so very interesting. You would think the yields would rise as the market's going higher, but it's not. So let's look at the 10-year yield together and see what the heck is going on here. Look at that. That's really interesting. It's correlated with the market, which is the market's pulled back and the yields have pulled back. Very interesting. Okay, so we're down here now. We're below the 200-day moving average. So your guess is as good as mine. What the hell's going on? Remember, we have Powell testimony coming up the next 2 days. So very interesting. That's a big move. That's a big gap down. So have to see. Now VIX is up as well. Now not at real fear, but it is up. Now you need to be up above 15 to even get some real fear in this market. Now the dollar, dollar's in a range, hasn't really done much, holding that 200-day moving average. So dollar's kind of moving sideways. Gold's been on a run. I think that's one thing that I'm loving. I am loving that gold run. Keep going. 3,000. Come on. I'm not a gold bug, but I've been holding that thing. Oh God, and it's making a move again. So, but gold is a heartbreaker. So we have to see. So anyway, let's get over to the market profile, the volume profile. Let's look at the structure together. Let's see what we can do, what scenarios we can look at. Let's see the structure of this market. Okay, let's see what this market's presenting. All right, now the market did its job yesterday. It moved the most traded price of the week up to 51.39. So that is now up here. I said that yesterday. I said it needs to move the most traded price up. It did. Okay, so now value is up here. All the light blue shade, this is 70% of the trade in the last week. All right, where's price right now? Right here. Okay, that's at about 51.18. Okay, so the market did its job. It moved value higher. Yes, we are below this now, but it did its job. All right, it moved value higher. Now, what's the next thing you want to notice? Anchored VWAPs, right? I said yesterday this would be an interesting part if we came down to the monthly VWAP, right? Well, it didn't happen yesterday, but it happened in the overnight. So now the VWAPs are red. Monthly VWAP is red. Week to date VWAP is red. Sellers in control for the week and for the month. So that's a change of guard right there. Okay, that's the change of guard. That just means the average weighted price is now 51.31 in the month, 51.39 in the week, and we are below that. So sellers are in control right now. Okay, we are gapping down. Okay, we are at the lows. There's a lot of things going on in this market this morning that you have to look at. Okay, so gap, we're below the 5-day, the most traded price of the week, below the anchor VWAPs. We're gapping down. We're at the lows. What else is to note here? We are 100% pretty much net short at the lows. Okay, this is the big move that happened, right? Can we take all of that move out? We'll have to see. All right, you got a lot of supply zones now above us, so might be looking like a two-way market for once. We'll see. Okay, now first thing we're gonna note here. Okay, first thing we're gonna note here is, let's look at the highs from yesterday, the lows, overnight high, overnight low. We're gapping down, right? Here's the gap fill right there. Okay, now we're underneath these anchor VWAPs. We're underneath here, so buyers got some work to do. Okay, buyers got some work to do. So what does this look like? So we're going to go with scenarios now that I would think would favor being a little bearish. Okay, so this is a level you really want to lean into, this 51.40 most traded price of the week. Also lines up with week to date VWAP. Also have a supply zone right above it. Okay, if you're going to get a pop into there, that could be a nice little short possibly. Okay, now normally I'm talking about the buyers, but now I have to talk about the sellers. Okay, so here's the gap. Let's talk about gap rules real quick. Okay, and this is how they work. If we get a gap and go, that's the most bearish, right? I don't usually participate in gap and goes. So if you get a move back and you can't fill the gap, that's still a win for the bears. If you pull back and you fill the gap, you could still, that's all could be a short, right? And the bullish scenario is if the bulls manage to fill the gap, and now you have that most traded price of the week. They have to get into that, into supply. If they can do that, that would be the sellers just do not have enough strength. If you start going back into yesterday's range, it just shows you the sellers do not have strength. Okay, So how do you play that? Now, there's two things here, and obviously I'm going to go over them very quickly. You have supply zone and a monthly VWAP here. Okay, you have a supply zone and a monthly VWAP. Because what I expect that will happen is, because we're 100% net short, okay, even if you pull down, I expect to get some buying to pop up into this area. And this is the test. You got two supply zones here. This is really the test. If it fails the test, we're going to go and revisit right here where that buying started. We're going to revisit that. Okay, almost down to 5100. Now, if you break this, oh boy, if you break that, you could start to go down to here, right? The bottom of this range to the left here. Okay. Of course, the other way is you break this, and this I could see this possibly being a bull trap. You can come up here to the week-to-day VWAP and the most traded price of the week. And if you try to go in here and you touch that supply zone, you get rejected, you hold under here, you could do this as well. Okay, so that's more the bear side. Okay, the bull side. Okay, I mean, really what I'd be interested in, probably the most, would be one of those scenarios playing out. You come up here, you push down, right? You get people all excited thinking that the bears are in control. And then it does one of these. And then it rips back up. Possibly goes back to the most traded price of the week. I'd really have to see the market not be that weak. Okay, if I see my internals that are super red, super bad breath, like then that's probably not a viable play. So that all matters how the internals are looking. Okay, the only other thing, I mean, and I wouldn't be much interested in this, is if the market did manage to come up here, take over this. Does it really go and break new highs? I wouldn't think so. Not today. And remember, Powell's testimony is the next 2 days. Give me one sec first. Okay, that's what I'm seeing right now in this market. I haven't done the gamma levels yet. Um, the Q's gamma flip point yesterday was 445, and if you look at that, it played with that level a lot. 512 in the SPY was the gamma flip point as well. So I believe we're underneath that now, but that gamma flip point changes. So I don't look at those until closer to the market open. All right, let's look at the Qs together. All right, let's look at the Qs. Now the Qs, you'll notice a big difference in the Qs. All right, big difference. Okay, what did they do? They already tested this big move that we had and almost erased it already. Okay, it came into demand zone, I'm sorry, and popped up. Doesn't mean it's over, but that's just a big difference in the two indexes, right? This already came all the way down to the base of this breakout, and now it's finding buyers. Okay, and Nvidia is still up 1.25%. So that just makes it really hard with the market. Nvidia's up 1.25%. Like that needs to show some weakness. Okay. Okay. So if we look at this big gap down in the Nasdaq, big gap down. Okay. So close at the lows, very weak close, right? Very weak close. That also managed to move the most traded price of the week up to 183. Okay, that's also what happened underneath the monthly VWAP and the week-to-date VWAP. So we have sellers in control for the moment. Again, not in the macro picture, but in the immediate picture, they are in control. Okay, we also have it close to 95% net short, right? And we're at the lows. Here's the most traded price of the overnight, right there. Okay, most of the short's going to be in there. Now the Nasdaq could have a nice reversal possibly if it stays here, goes back into demand, rips above this most traded price. You're going to get people taking profits and covering, and then it's up to you if you want to be the short. Look for the short. Okay. So this is a little more like, okay, really, I really have to look at the internals. Okay, so we do have a big gap. So here's the gap. Here's yesterday's lows, yesterday's highs, overnight lows, overnight highs. You can see the overnight highs hit monthly VWAP and sold off. Okay, so out of this, again, the same thing. Gap and go. I'm not going to repeat it. I already said it about the gap rules already. So you have a long way to fill this gap. You have right here a key level, in my opinion. All right, you have a weak high here, so that's going to be what I look at today. This 182.54 is also monthly VWAP. It also has a supply zone. Okay, also has the close from yesterday. So if you get that reflexive bounce into here, hit monthly VWAP, and you can't go back into yesterday's range, we could take a dive, right? So it's kind of what I'm seeing. Or like I said, all right, let's just go over scenarios instead of me talking. So let's go with the seller, the short, okay? All right, you can gap and go, okay? You can just go and rip down, and you're going to go to the most traded price. Actually, I didn't tell you this either. The most traded price of the month and the year have now moved. Well, the price of the month stayed, but the most traded price of the year has now moved to 18,015. That could be an eventual target today. If you go below that, oh boy, you're going to start going into that gap that was still not filled. Okay, that's one. Okay, that's a real bad scenario. Okay, I can guess something like this is going to happen. Get into this demand, everybody thinks, oh boy, and then the market rips up past this overnight most traded price, and this is the real test. Either it fails here and goes down to the most traded price of the year, or it fails to the monthly VWAP, goes down. Now again, I wouldn't be a fan as much in here with the most traded price because that's back into range. That shows bull strength. Obviously, we could fall here too as well, but I would rather have the stabs at the short here. Okay. Now, of course, if Nvidia stays strong and the market, like remember, Google's been weak, Apple's been weak. If Apple hits 170, some people are probably going to look to buy Apple. Okay. All right. Google's already hit the 200-day moving average. So that's it's also, you have to look at that. Tesla's been just getting murdered. So even this is what this market, I'll leave you guys with this. Even though this market has been so strong, right? It's been literally semis like Nvidia pushing, 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 while other stocks have been not going much higher. So it's kind of weird. It's like Nvidia, if it doesn't really pull back, but then people start buying Google and Apple, right? That could propel the market. So here's a big bear trap here. If you push down, gap and go, and you get into this demand, and you start really trying to, and they can't get lower, it's going to go, and you pass that overnight most traded price, you're going to rock it. And I would assume you probably go up and fill that gap, if not go to the most traded price and wait for Powell tomorrow. Okay. Another scenario could be gapping, breaking that demand, right? Gets people really scared. You go down into the most traded price of the year. There's a demand zone right here, and if it rips back up and starts accepting prices, you're going to start moving higher. Okay? Because this is a huge level. Like I said, big line in the sand there. All right? That's the scenario for today. All right? Hope everybody enjoyed that. Okay? Please leave a like if you can, if you enjoyed it. Anyone else could subscribe and set an alert. All right? That's going to be it for today. Everybody, please be patient. Hope everybody has a green day. If not, I'll see everybody tomorrow.